So am I giving a brief summary of what we talking about or no? Just bam, just welcome, panel, boom. Straight into like what's going on. That's what we're doing, right?
Where we coming from.
Right here in the gym, where we coming from, straight in the gym.
Hey everybody, I'm Paul Kritz, instructor in the audio journalism classes in Pelican Bay State Prison. And before we get going, I'd like to do something kind of redundant. Introduce the introduction. I teach 2 classes in 2 different yards with a total of 15 students. These classes are tethered together by the laptop, 2 SM58s, and a USB mixer I carry between morning sessions, one in a disused dining hall, the other under a hoop in the gym. The classes are already deep into their next 3 podcasts, each episode focusing on a specific aspect of incarceration. So we're calling this first spin Episode 0, because it's really just about the guys. What follows are 15 stories, short monologues to introduce you to all the voices of Unlocked. Interspersed are excerpts from one-on-one interviews and panel discussions to spice up the pot and give you the flavor of what's to come. Just a quick aside, though the topics ahead range from family visits to toxic masculinity to anger management, there's really only a couple of swears, that's all, but, heads up. And stick around for the challenge at the end, something you can try on the outside that will give you a little insight into the lives of these men inside. I walked into it like a patsy.
Is this recording?
Yeah.
Oh, we already got it all on it? Yeah, we already got it all. Yeah, we already got it all.
But then I got that first family visit, and some of the things that, transpired in there, kind of let me know that prison had a little bit more of a hold on me than I initially thought,
It's not TV, not what you see on TV or anything like that. They come in, they advocate for you. It's not like that on TV. The TV version is to desensitize you to the abuses that you're going to go through in the criminal justice system.
Oh, I love to be called by my Muslim name, Abdul Hafiz, or Hafiz for short. I love it because it represents who I am as an individual now and what I'm trying to become in the future, God willing.
Yeah, I committed murder, but, I build communities. And it's like, that's not something you should take lightly. That word community means a lot. And I built a community, along with my fellow peers in Pelican Bay.
Pelican Bay Unlocked is a podcast created by prisoners here at Pelican Bay State Prison, offering the public an unfiltered view into the reality of prison life and its culture. Throughout this show, you will hear the voices of men sharing their thoughts, feelings, and opinions on a wide range of topics via stories, interviews, and group discussions. You will also hear original songs and poetry expressing their personal perspectives while depicting their life experiences and personal journeys during incarceration. It is the hopes of Unlocked to dispel the negative images attributed to prisoners while displaying the redemptive qualities of our humanity in furtherance of rehabilitation and reentry. Where truth meets reality, we are Pelican Bay Unlocked.
Pelican Bay
Unlocked. Where truth meets reality.
My name's Henry Reese. I'm from San Bernardino, California. I've been down 14 years already. I have 80 to life sentence. I'm in here for murder. I'm joining this program to give a little insight from us in here to the people out there in society. I'm trying to let them know that we're in here trying to better ourselves and program and trying to become, functioning individuals and have a better life, even if we don't have a chance to get out. But there is an opportunity one day for us maybe to get out by these laws changing. So I'm trying to do that for myself, and I know there's a lot of other individuals in here that are trying to do the same thing, and we want to shed a little light on that because we have a stigma of always getting in trouble and stuff like that, but it's not like that. The programs in here are helping everybody, and we're trying to do that because if we do get out, we'll be functioning people out there in society. I've been involved in other programs since I've been in here. Been in Pelican Bay since December 2015. I just got my GED. There's other few individuals in this podcast that got their GED, and there's other individuals that are in other programs as well. This prison has a lot of programs to make us better ourselves, and we're taking advantage of that. I think this is going to be a good light for us to shed out there. And you're going to hear a lot more of my story down the line, so I have more to give, and so everybody will understand the lifestyle we're living and the lifestyle we came from. And I thank you for giving us the opportunity to shed that and share our lives with you guys. Thank you.
My name's Kyron Aubrey, and I'm 30. I've been convicted of 2 robberies with a 5-year nickel prior because I've been to prison already. I'm from South Central Los Angeles, and I was raised with my sister. I didn't have neither parents, no mother nor father. Through school, I stayed in school because my sister was strict on me, but still, I decided to run to the streets. I ended up graduating high school, and I'm currently in college right now. As a juvenile, I've been through back and forth through the halls, camp programs, and eventually a pipeline to prison is why I'm here now.
I'm Barry Dwayne Woods. I'm from Sacramento, California. I've been incarcerated since 1989. I made some bad decisions in my young life, and I'm here now at Pelican Bay State Prison, part of this podcast. And my hopes of being here is to change or use my voice for the betterment of my community, and not only my community, the communities at broad out there who are at risk for gang violence and gang recruitment. And I don't want my name or my voice used anymore to continue these recruitment programs that they got going on out there. And so I chose to take part in these programs in order to show people and state me that although you have done wrong in your life, there is right that you can do no matter where you're at. And we're supposed to be the worst of the worst here at Pelican Bay. And I want to stop sending that image back home to where this place is just rocking. It's not like that. You got people in there that are truly dedicated to change. And I want to be one of those people, and I want to use my voice for change. I've done a lot in my lifetime. I mean, that can be considered bad. That is bad, and I'm not going to try and sugarcoat it or anything like that. I'm not going to glorify this lifestyle. So I've chosen to be part of this program for that, and that alone. And my whole purpose of being here is to show the youth that irregardless of what you do, there are better options that you can make in your life than to go down that road that I took. And not to say that you're going to walk in my shoes, because I don't want you to walk in my shoes, but to say that if you embrace that lifestyle, this is what can happen to you. And I want to use my story as an example.
What about family visits? What's like is that important to you? Or, you know what I'm saying, how has being able to maintain those visits for the duration of your time here at Pelican Bay made your life easier or made your family bond stronger?
Yeah, well, you know, when I first came to prison, you know, lifers, we weren't able to have family visits. So, you know, about 2015, you know, when I first came, actually, I'm gonna go back to 2012. When I first came, you know, cats on the yard used to be saying, you know, we'll never get those, you know, man. Oh, man, they talking about that family visit thing. We ain't never gonna have that, man. Cats messed that off. And they had all these extravagant stories about why we lost them and how we lost them, and that's the reasons we'll never get them back. However, when 2015 came in the ARC, you know, they was pushing, as long with the brothers in the back, you know, that was stuck in the shoes, you know, it became a real probability, not just a possibility. Right. You feel me? So then we achieved getting those family visit back, you know, as long as, you know, we upheld certain character up in here, you know, we wasn't getting write-ups, you know what I mean, A1 offenses and so on, you feel me? So we actually got those back that way, and it's been a blessing.
Okay, so between getting regular visits on a every other week basis and what you get family visits every 45, every 90 days or something like that?
Yeah, initially it done slowed down because a lot of brothers is getting them, and that's a blessing, you feel me? But initially it used to be in between 45 and 50 days.
Okay.
I mean, and it was quite frequent, but now it done slowed down to about 2 to 3 months.
Okay, so you know, being that you're allowed to have these visits now, do you see a change in your attitude, like towards programming, or do you feel like it's, you know, how has it made you change the way you think about doing your prison time, or maybe the way you feel about family relations?
Yeah, it's a few things, right? The very first thing is, you know, I didn't think I was institutionalized.
Yeah, what you mean by that?
Initially when I first came to prison, I polished myself as one of them cats who like to get into this prison stuff. So I don't do the prison thing. You know what I mean? I prided myself on not being involved in other cats' business with the gossip and, you know what I mean, trying to do what we call politicking, which is really just gossiping and so on, right? And but then I got that first family visit, and some of the things that, transpired in there, kind of let me know that prison had a little bit more of a hold on me than I initially thought,
Like what?
Like, for instance, man, in the family visiting room, first let me lay it out for you, kind of, they come at a certain time, they pick you up. The COs from your building, they take you over. Usually it's about either 8 o'clock or 10. And they come and they take you over into the family visiting room, you know what I mean, which is near the visiting room. They set you up in the cages. You go over your food. They tell you order food on your list, and when you go in there, if you got the money on there, they'll let you in, and you will go through your foods or whatever to make sure everything is accounted for. Then they count everything that's in there, the dishes, the silverware,
Okay, so everything is inventory.
Everything is inventoried, and then after that, they leave. And you in there by yourself waiting on your visitor.
So as soon as they leave, what you do? You just strip down to your drawers and go crazy, bro? What you do?
Man, I wish I did. I wish it was that easy, but unfortunately, or fortunately, it's other people up in there. So, I gotta clean things up because I ain't trying to be laying in nobody else's, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So basically, you gotta go in there and disinfect everything.
Yeah, so I re-clean everything from the floor to the shower. They give you new towels and bedding and all that, so you don't need to clean that. But however, I do clean everything that they leave in there.
Okay. Makes sense, man, because nobody wants to get scabies. No. Nobody wants to get anything that's gonna have you breaking out, or anything that she can take back to the streets with her from prison.
Yeah, you feel me? We pride ourselves on cleanliness up in here. That's important. You know what I mean? So you clean everything. Within 30 to 45 minutes, they bring the visitor in. So just kind of moving along, you know what I mean, past that, one of the things that kind of got me to where I noticed that I'm was institutionalized and needed to do a little bit of work on myself was, when it came to showering. Up in here in the actual yard, we wear our shower shoes to the shower because of the exact thing that we just was speaking on, which is cleanliness. We ain't trying to catch nothing that we ain't have coming to.
Oh yeah, you gonna get more than athlete's feet. You jump in that shower without them shower shoes on. You get staph and all type of MRSAs and all type of. You get the cooties. So I get it, but yeah, I understand. Okay, we get it.
Right. So we wear our shower shoes and stuff up in there to make sure that we ain't stepping and puddling in somebody else's, leavings, right?
Okay, so wait, let me get this straight. You went to the family visit and you wore your shower shoes.
Yeah, man, it was, I thought it was a norm. I've been in prison for almost 10 years now, and I done become accustomed to that, and I didn't think it was nothing wrong with it. I thought it was normal. So as I'm getting in the shower and so on, and me and my wife is taking this personal time together, she looked down at my feet and asked me, what is that? What are you doing? And I'm looking at her bare feet, and I'm thinking, what is you doing? You need to put your shoes on. What's wrong with you? You go get something. So, she was like, I never put my shower shoes on in the shower. That's for when you get out so you don't slip and fall. So I'm like, okay. I had to stop for a minute, and I had to go back to 10 years ago when I was out on the street. I didn't wear no shower shoes. So what she was saying made sense. And so I took them off, you feel me? I kind of felt a little embarrassed, due to that,
My name is Michael Swanigan. I'm 39 years old. I was convicted of murder in the first degree with special allegations, which gave me a sentence of life without the possibility of parole. And I've now been in prison for 13 years. I'm from Sacramento, California. I was didn't have both of my parents. I was raised in foster homes and moved around a lot. But for the most part, my upbringing was good. I went to school. I liked education. I graduated from high school in 1998. And for the most part, I missed long juvenile detention stays, but ultimately being involved in gang life and criminal culture as I got older is what led me to prison today.
Hello there, my name's Marco Garcia. I'm 26 years of age. I'm from Hanford, California. I was originally incarcerated for something that I did not do, and while I was in a county jail fighting that case, I ended up picking up a couple more cases. So I'm doing 20 years right now. I've been here going on like 2 years, but I've been down since 2015. This is my second term. I actually I'm on my second number right now. My first term I caught it when I was 15, and I ended up getting out when I was about 21 and stuff. Pretty much when I was out there in the streets, I was doing all right. I was trying to change my life. I was enrolled into college. I was going to West Hills College out there in the streets. I ended up walking down the street. Cop popped out, pointed a gun at me, said I did something. I didn't do nothing, and because I'm on parole, they locked me up, and I ended up getting that case dropped. Yeah.
What do you hope to get out of the podcast?
I pretty much hope to get a new set of skills. So because eventually I'm gonna get out, and when that happens, I want to get out with something to where if I get out, I don't go back to the same old stuff. Because when I got out the first time, we didn't really have these programs in prison. We didn't have nothing. So when I got out, my mind went back to doing what I was doing when I was 15, and that's running the streets and acting crazy and partying and stuff like that. But after a while, when I got out, I pretty much didn't really know what to do with myself. I was sitting at my house, bored on Facebook, bobbing around everywhere in the streets. I got tired of it. I volunteered for a little group out there with my parole agent. It was called West Care. It was like a drug group. I don't got a drug problem. I don't use. I just joined just to do something with myself. And when I got into that group, I utilized the resources that they gave me. I found a job. I went to college and moved out of my mom's house. Had my own spot and everything. I had a kid out there, little girl, and I just pretty much, I don't really know what happened. I was walking down the street one day, and then a squad car comes out of nowhere, pointing a gun at me, telling me to put my hands up. I was confused. Then later on down the line at the preliminary, it ended up coming out that they got the wrong person, the suspect, the people that they described and all that stuff. It wasn't even me. And by that time, I was already pretty much on my way back up here.
My name is Kalina Touch. Everybody calls me K. I'm 31 right now. I was convicted of murder. 25 to life. I got 25 to life for the murder, another 25 to life for the use of a gun in the same murder. I served 10 years in prison, 13 in total. I grew up in Long Beach, California. My childhood was, typical. I was very curious, so I always found things out for myself. My family upbringing was good. I had a mom, an uncle who was sort of like my dad, and a little brother, 2 older brothers and a sister, and I think it was good, man. I was Cambodian, so that meant a lot of unity in the community where we used to walk in and out of each other's house and borrow things without them knowing. They'll call it stealing now, but we was borrowing things. My education, I didn't get a high school degree when I was out there, but I got a GED in here. I actually got 3 of them. That's a long story. I was in and out of juvenile detention from 12 on up to 18. And then ultimately at 18, I committed this murder. And although my family upbringing was nice, I ran to gangs, and I wouldn't say that it's gangs that brought me to prison or my culture or whatever. It's just that's how it was in our city. That was how it was where I grew up, and eventually that brought me here, and that's the first thing I graduated.
My name is Otis Crawford, aka Abdul Hafiz. I hail from East Oakland, California, man. The heart of the Bay where the Warriors at. I've been down 13 years, originally on a 4-year beef. Why I'm here is because, growing up in Oakland, growing up in the hood, growing up in the time when I grew up in Oakland, we was a lot of revolutionaries, and the main construct behind why we was doing what we was doing then is the same reason why I want to do what I'm doing now, is, social change. It's a lot of things that's going on in the neighborhood that people that don't live there don't really care about. And that can also be said, about people in the system, whether it be group homes, foster homes, or, ultimately incarcerated. So ultimately, I've been involved in, programs that has to do with social change like, GOGI or AA or NA, which I'm a chairman of one, I'm a coach of another, because I believe in if you have the tools that's necessary to change and to be productive, you can be. And if we don't care about ourselves, those who are in these specific, conditions and environments, then no one will. That's, my personal belief. So based on that, and believing that God doesn't change the conditions for people till they first change themselves, this is why I'm in this program. You can reach people, you can tell people your points of views, and then sometimes it's best to have a monologue, or have room and time for a monologue where people can't argue with you, but they have to wait and listen to you. Maybe you would then break barriers. And, whether it be this journalism class, whether it be Pelican Bay newspaper, whether it be programs like Hustle 2.0, it has the potential to reach people and change things. And I want to be on the forefront of that, especially in the times like today's where we don't have true leaders on the forefront anymore. As people are scared to pick up the ball and actually do for themselves what they want other people to do for them. They're not actually willing to do the work, or willing to do the work, but don't know nobody who can lead them and show them the ropes. And so for me, I hope that by being a part of this program, what I can put into it is my point of view, my perspective on what I believe righteousness is, on what I believe can change the social ills in our communities. This is a community as well. The point of view and the perspective that people have on incarcerated persons, they just see the symptoms. They don't necessarily see the real true core issues. And very few times do they get past the number, the person just being a number. Many times I'm just G34854. I'm not Otis Crawford. And so for that reason, this doesn't just start here. My point of view is to give people insight on the things that happen in our environments in our childhood as kids, that developmental stages that we go through and the desensitization that we go through by being a part of violent cultures or cultures that necessarily don't have all the tools, what that then turns to and then what that then leads to. And ultimately, if you don't have them tools, it can lead to, people having a view of you that is not wholly accurate. And so me, what I expect from being able to be a part of this program is being able to give that different point of view, and also show the different stages, between then and now, the things that I've went through, the experiences that I've had, and what ultimately led me to want to be a part of programs like this. Right now I'm taking my AA degree in sociology for that exact reason. I'm an A student at this point in time. So, because I'm passionate about changing the conditions of not only myself and my people who are now inflicted, no matter what race, color, creed, or background, but also those of the future, of the kids, the children that's to come, and if we can start now and start changing things now, then I believe that we stand a good chance at finally dealing with some of the core issues that we have in society today.
So, what do I call you?
I would love to, if everybody had the same kind of view that I have, religiously, but they don't. So you could call me Mr. Crawford, or you could call me Otis, you could call me Abdul Hafiz, which is my Muslim given name. But that came, my given name, my Muslim given name came from my journey of doing away with gang banging and violence and a life of criminal thinking to where I want to actually start living up to that. Actual name means he who remembers, he who recites, he who guards, and ultimately at the highest stage, he who preserves. And to be able to preserve justice and equality is ultimately my goal as an enlightened young man at this point in time. So whatever name, it doesn't really. What do you like to be called? Oh, I love to be called by my Muslim name, Abdul Hafiz, or Hafiz for short. I mean, I love it because it represents who I am as an individual now and what I'm trying to become in the future, God willing.
You want to hear a very interesting conversation? Ask a group of prisoners about their experience with the judicial system. Something I did one morning with the guys in A-Yard. Who here had a public defender, and what was that like?
I had a public defender, but I actually had a pretty bad experience with them, and I ended up I didn't want to do that. That's basically
what followed was a good 45 minutes of incredible exchanges. Experts discussing their arcana.
I got a reverse for that.
But rife as it was with hearsay, conjecture, and specific details impugning specific institutions, almost totally unusable.
All these robots and all these hurdles in front of you.
Yeah, they don't care.
I guess you'll just have to take my word for it. It was incredible.
They'll try to do anything.
And this is real. This is real. And the judge told me to sit down and be quiet, and he allowed him to speak for, and he had nothing to say.
So let me ask you something. You never thought about filing the motion for the dismissal of a judge?
I went through all of that. Every motion that was filed in my case, I filed myself. And I knew nothing about the law. I was ignorant of the law. I was totally ignorant of the law. I was sitting in the county jail. I began to open up the law books and I started reading myself, which is why I learned the law myself, because I said, if I'm going to I may as well do it myself.
That's unfortunate. Wow.
Yeah, we need to know names. We need names.
We call them public pretenders where I come from. You know what I'm saying? Because it's you have to look at it like this. The Constitution under the Sixth Amendment gives us the right to have effective assistance of counsel. So that means that they're supposed to argue for us in our best interest and not to do anything that will argue against us. I'm not going to sit here and say that the public defender's office is horrible and deplorable and all that. There are horrible people no matter where you're from, no matter what job description or career choice you choose. That's just a fact of humanity. But most of the time, the public defender's office is overworked and underpaid. They don't have the resources available to be going long hours and months for cases, especially when you're going up against a system who has all these resources and money at their disposal.
It's not TV, not what you see on TV or anything like that. You know, they come in, they advocate for you. It's not like that. It's not like that on TV. You know, the TV version is to desensitize you to the abuses that you're going to go through in the criminal justice system, and that's what I believe it do. That's just why I don't watch the crime shows on TV, and because they're basically desensitized the public to the abuses that are taking place within the district attorney's office, and as if you got these strong advocates out there for you in the public defender's office, but yet every defendant is guilty, and all district attorneys are honorable. It's not like that. Because
is that the desensitization that you're talking about? Is that people get this unrealistic expectation of what the dynamics like?
Exactly, and then they have these expectations about this system working in this manner, and the system doesn't work in that manner. Mm-hmm. You know, there's so many dynamics. There's so many dynamics to the criminal justice system, and we're talking about our constitutional rights, because once you become a defendant, in the case, automatically your constitutional rights kick in, and that's where the reviews take place in the appeals court if you're convicted. It's not on the minor errors that take place. It's of constitutional magnitude. So if you're underrepresented, do it throughout your trial, it's hard to get back on appeal, because once you're convicted, they want to sustain those convictions, and it's hard to get them reversed. Mm-hmm. So from the outset, you know, when you do have the good public defender's office, it's good to keep them strong, because what they've been doing over the years is they've been defunding them, you know, across the state, across the nation, and they've been defunding the public defender's office, and then our advocates, the advocates that we're getting, is not up to par of what it used to be.
Well, I went through all those phases. Like in my first term, I went through a public defender. Then I was 17 years old, tried as an adult, and actually the judge gave me a state appointed. And and I got a good deal. I mean, this time.
Why the judge give you a state appointment?
Because the public defender wasn't doing a job, and the judge noticed that I was young and pretty much green to what was going on. He said, actually the public defender was telling me you should take this 25 years to life sentence on deal, because if you know you're gonna get doubled up, pretty much 50 years to life. And the judge said, well, I don't think that's fair. Let's give him a state appointment. And,
but you had somebody who was actually like at least paying attention to the kind of.
Not everybody's being like.
Yeah.
Pretty much, they want to rail you or throw you under the bus.
Where truth meets reality. Pelican Bay Unlocked. Reality meets reality.
My name is Samaje Amin Martin. I'm 26 years old. I was convicted of a convenience store robbery, also known as Penal Code 211. My sentence was 37 years and 4 months. I've currently served 6 years of that 37-year sentence. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, the south side of Chicago. It was a rough environment growing up. My pops died from a drug-related death when I was 6 years old. So my mom had to raise me and 9 other siblings, on her lonesome. So, that kind of, was hard for me. I was a headache at times and whatnot. But I have a high school diploma, and I also have an associate's degree in behavioral psychology. I was, part of a gang, and involved in a lot of criminal activity. So, that led me down a path that kind of made me stumble quite a bit, which led me to this prison term, as a matter of fact. But, in the end of it, I'm growing through it, and it just can only build from here.
My name is Ray Ramirez. I'm from Sacramento, California. I'm doing 86 years to double life. What that means is I got 2 consecutive life sentences that I have to do in order to be eligible for parole. This is my first time in Pelican Bay. I've already done 4 prison terms. The difference between this prison and other prisons that I've been to is the yard, the setups of the yard, the way everything is. A lot's changed since my last term. There's a lot more programs for us to do. I've been to High Desert, Salinas Valley, and this is my first time in Pelican Bay. And like I said, programs have changed where we're getting more activities, more programs to better ourselves. The reason why I'm in the podcast is, for our voices to be heard on the outside, so they know that, we're not animals. That we are regular people like everyone else out there. We may have made bad choices in our lives, but we're here to change it now, and hopefully for the better, so that way we can be productive members in society should we make it out. If not, at least be that positive influence for those who hear our voice and might be going down the wrong path. Through my time growing up, I had kids, and really I ain't been down there for none of my kids. I've been locked up. When they were born, I was locked up. They ain't never seen. The oldest one I got is 14. Never seen him, maybe like once, if that. And then I got another kid in and out of that one's life, but really ain't had a steady relationship. And then I got my youngest one, and that's the one that that's the one I'm really around. Married to his mom. Another reason, like I said, is for the podcast is doing these little programs, stuff like that, so I could be a positive role model for my son. Even though I'm in here, I still try to teach him right from wrong, and try to let him know that even though I'm in here, doesn't change the fact that I'm his dad, and that I still want him to do good, and don't want him to end up in the lifestyle that I ended up in and being like me. My thing to him is always, don't be like me, be better than me. And that's what I tell him. Don't be me, don't be like me, be better than me. That's all you can do. And as long as you do what you feel is right and what you want to do with life, he's gonna go far.
My name is Marcel Buggs. I'm 28 years old. I've been sentenced to 40 years to life. I've been in prison since 2010. Personally, I grew up in Richmond, California, a city in the Bay Area. My family upbringing, I had both parents in the household. My father was in prison, in and out of prison, but nonetheless, he was in the household for a good period of time. I have 20 brothers and sisters, big family. We just was poor, and my educational level, I'm a high school graduate. You know, some college, I haven't received my degree yet, but I'm working on it. I went to juvenile halls. I did pretty much everything. You know, I was a criminal, and eventually became a gang member around the years of 2005, 2004, around the age 13 or 14 years old. My activity, I used to brand myself as like an ultimate gangster. I wanted to do all of the extreme things that no one else had done. You know, part of it was because I was, finding myself, and another part of it was because I felt that was my way of expressing how I felt, you know, because we didn't grow up talking about that type of thing. And ultimately it led to me being in prison in Pelican Bay, you know, for 10 years. And, you know, hopefully me being here and sharing my story with the world, you know, can help change someone's life who may have been similar to mine.
Hi, my name is Daniel Noriega. I'm 39 years old. I've been incarcerated for 18 years. I was sentenced 25 to life plus a LWOP. LWOP means life without the possibility of parole. So you don't have a date at all. So you don't see a parole board, nothing.
That's just it. You're just here,
that's
right?
just it. You're just here, just floating around.
Wow.
When I first came to prison, the way I took it, I had nothing to lose.
Mm-hmm.
So I was on a, didn't give a path. I didn't care about nothing. I did drugs. I assaulted people. I didn't care. I didn't care about the next person. Didn't care about myself. Didn't care about nobody. You know what I mean? You pretty much I was at a point of hopelessness. I had no hope for nothing. You know what I mean? So pretty much, all that did was pretty much drive me into being the shoe.
Mm-hmm.
And you stuck with that rage and just that hopelessness, and that's the worst thing you could have in prison is hopelessness. Because when you're hopeless, you're dead. You're dead. You're physically there, but you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You gave up on yourself. You know what I mean? So, it took me a while to figure out that I had a lot more to offer. Just because I had an LWOP sentence didn't mean I could. Didn't mean I had to give up so easy. I could still be a good person while in prison. And not to mention the laws are changing, but that's a plus. But I mean that's not really why I decided to change. I decided to change because I wanted to better myself.
Mm-hmm.
I got tired of being lonely, hopeless, and it just being in the shoe. I was in the shoe for 7 years, but it took me 5 years to realize that there's more in life. There's, it's just that it's just sad that it took me that long to realize it.
Mm-hmm.
But now I had realized it, and I've done again a lot of programs, But
was there anything that specifically that drove you to realize that, or it was just an accumulation of time in the shoe?
It was a woman that wrote me.
Really?
And just wrote me out of the blues, and just wrote me, and for someone to get a letter like that, I mean.
Like somebody you didn't know?
Someone I didn't know.
Just part of a program, or just picked your name at random, or what?
I guess I was on I was just on one of the programs, and a woman wrote me, and has since still been writing me, and it just gives you that sense of hope, like if they could believe in you, they took their time to write you, like, why can't I believe in myself?
Wow.
It just takes those small little gestures, it's not much. One might think it's not a lot, the little letter, but it means the world to someone in here,
Mm-hmm.
Coming from going to camps, being a knucklehead, to actually, graduating, I should say, to prison, like, how did you, what did you do to, like, cope, or what did you do to focus your mind on, your future?
So, this is a loaded question. That's a lot. But I honestly believe like a man or a person needs to break before they can truly like strive for change, right? And so back when I was in High Desert State Prison, I was messing up and doing everything, and I broke. What I realized is that I did 5 years incarceration time, and I didn't progress. I didn't do anything, and I was just thinking like, man, like there has to be something better. There has to be a reason for all this suffering. I still wake up with nightmares from the murder. I still miss my son. At the time, I didn't have a relationship with him, and I was going through all this pain and watching my family struggle from the decision I made to be a gang member. And I figured like, man, I got to do something.
So basically, you like held yourself accountable for your actions, and then you realized like it's time to make a change.
Yeah, I mean, I always knew I did it. On the record right now, I'm saying like, yeah, I did it, but I guess I was kind of delusional in like the process of it. But when I took it in, like I realized that I was kind of living this like this facade, this fake character that wasn't really me, because he was angry all the time, And so, when I broke free of that character, I decided like it didn't matter what anybody else think about me. So now I'm bouncy. I run up to people, get them hugs on the yard, and it's just like, man, like K's tripping. Like he in Pelican Bay, but he's smiling, laughing, and it's just like, yeah. But what I realized is that it makes other people smile too. And
I was just about to say that you do got like the personality that like you could just say something or make a face or something like that, and it'll make a person smile. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen you, at work. Yeah. So being up here, like what programs have you participated in up in here?
Well, so a part of realizing that facade wasn't kind of like making me happy was I got into Buddha service, and what made that happen was like because I was so angry, I felt like the homies was like tolerating me, right? And I never felt like anybody should treat me like a child. Like if I was messing up, I should get mine the way other people got theirs. If we willing to give these people their medicine, when I mess up, I need my medicine too, because that's just how life is. It's always fair. You get what you got coming. And the homies was kind of tolerating me, and it was like, oh, just leave K alone. That's just K. He's angry. He's always whatever. He got anger issues. Yeah. And I didn't like that, so the homie kind of put me in Buddha service and was like, dude, you got to learn how to meditate. You got to focus that energy you got, and you need to stop tripping. And so the catalyst for everything was Buddha service and meditation, but it led to like, David, a lot of you guys know him, but he kind of signed me up for things without my knowledge, and so he got me into college. He got me into different programs, and instead of just taking it for what it is, like I soaked it in. Like I realized I was starving for all that stuff. I'm a big proponent for programs, not for the state, not for board, but for yourself. Yeah, I committed murder, but I build communities, and it's like that's not something you should take lightly. That word community means a lot, and I built a community, along with my fellow peers in Pelican Bay. Now you can Google Pelican Bay and you can see what that sentence mean, that what I just said. Yeah. We built a live, structured, thriving community here in Pelican Bay, and exactly. It's just based on programs, based on knowledge, and based on reaching out to somebody that don't look like you. I'm intentional about this. Why wouldn't you want me as your neighbor? Because a lot of what the streets is out there right now is discord.
Yeah, I think that sometimes people they look at diversity as like a negative thing. Like they look at it as like everybody's not supposed to mix, everybody's not supposed to get along. But I think we're going on like about 6 years now that the agreement to end all hostilities has been in place, maybe about 7 years, and it's brought down the rate of violence in prison drastically. You know what I'm saying? And I think that by us all being able to exist with each other, that it's giving us opportunities to actually work. Because if we can do it in prison, we should be able to do it on the streets. You see what I'm saying? So if we're in here doing like Defy Ventures, we're doing Gogi, we're doing lifers groups, we're doing victim awareness, we're doing college, we're doing arts and corrections, all these different programs, the end result, it should be rehabilitation in some shape, form, or fashion. But like I said before, bro, it's up to us. And being that we're actually in here, taking it upon ourselves to do these things or create programs, come up with our own ill tags, it puts us in a better position, you know, to connect with people out there in the streets, like out in society, because they get to see us for who we are and not for our 128, not for our probation report, not for if you Google me and you look me up in the system, you're going to see that cats have murder cases, robberies, burglaries, and things of that nature, like violent crimes and stuff like that. I think that we need to actually like shed light on the positive aspects of, you know, the things that we do and the things that we go through while we're in prison.
Pelican Bay Unlocked, where the truth meets the goof.
That's how it goes. That's
Tonight on The Tier.
Excuse me on the tier. Excuse me on the tier. Bro, go over there and get the young, put the young with the young by the young.
Someone's hungry, and someone else has soup.
You got 3 flavors of soups in here. Hey, bro, send your line.
The LA Times calls it a riveting prison drama that doesn't shy away from asking the difficult question.
Hey, you got some soups in your cell?
Variety raves, that soup must be good. And the Pelican asks, does he in fact have some soup? Go over there and put the young by the young with the young.
I was trying to get the young from the young.
Sure. Tonight on The Tier.
Hey, sir!
All right, I'm Sean, West LA Blaze, Jackson, no gang name, just a cool guy thing. As the name states, I'm from West Los Angeles. Let's say I grew up all over LA County, mostly because my mother went to prison by the time I was 12, and I bounced around group homes from 12 to 17, so all over LA County I was. I'm currently in jail for 2 attempted murders, gang enhancement, plus the gun enhancement, equaling up to 70 years and 2 life sentences. I've been down since 2005. This is my second time at Pelican Bay State Prison, level 4. The first time was from 2008 to 2011. That was my first GP and introduction to prison. My second time, I've been here since 2017. Since the first time, I've earned my GED. I completed some self-help classes such as victim awareness, anger management, an entrepreneur plus self-development course, as well as basic computer training. I'm currently enrolled in College of the Redwoods, that is. Last semester was my first semester, and I took 4 classes then. Now I'm currently enrolled in 6, which is killing me. I plan to graduate next year, 2020. Following that, I hope to transfer to the UCLA Bachelor Program in Lancaster, which is right outside of LA County, which would be dope, closer to home. After that, I figure I should be going to the pro board by then. If I'm not completed that, I'll probably knock a trade or 2 out the way. I'm not the same wild, thoughtless teen that I was. I'm a more complete, well-rounded, grown-ass man. I'm currently just focused on the preparation to earn my suitability status from the parole board, which will be around 2024. Thanks to a YOP, which is Youth Offender Program. It was a law change, and ultimately, it would be great to have a second chance in life, you know? Maintain my freedom and hold on to it. Outside of that, I'm part of this program in hopes to change the mentality that the outside world has with those who are incarcerated. Not that all of us are some perfect goody two-shoes people that are doing these great things. I'm pretty sure many of us are animals. But a lot of us, especially us who have been down since teenage years, have changed. Outside of that, thank you for your time and hope you enjoyed the podcast.
My name's Marcus. I'm from Frisco, 35 years old. Been down 12 years. I got a 30 years to life sentence. And right now I'm just like trying to turn my life over, you know, take control of the actions I'm making. Stay out of the shoe, stay out of the hole, and just become, you know, more productive. try to learn more skills along the way so I could become better equipped, and try to break this cycle that's been plaguing my family. Yeah, so I just grew up on the streets really, because like my father was always in prison. He did a lot of time. My older brother was in prison. My middle brother was in prison. I was the youngest. Wow. So I was already on the streets by like 7, 8 years old, and I was already hanging around with people. I was already experimenting with drugs and alcohol, and you know what I'm saying? So, sooner than later, I'm on the streets doing the same thing that my brother and my father were doing. Been right here for 2 years. So I just got out the shoe. Well, see, when I was back there, I got into the 5 program. That was the first time. That was the first group I've ever done. So like, now that I did that and I graduated there, I kind of got the little bug. So now kind of like I'm in a whole bunch of groups now. So like I said, I'm just trying to learn skills and become more better equipped in life so I could be more productive and help my son along the way. So just trying to break this cycle. Like from my father on down, we all been in prison, and you know what I'm saying. So like I got it worse than everybody. I got life, you know what I'm saying?
Oh wow.
So,
is it what kind of lesson, what kind of message can you pass on to your son to kind of break that cycle?
Stay in school, man. Don't worry about what other people think about you. I mean, I heard like there was people like on the block, that were older than me, OGs, and they were saying the same thing. But when you're young and you're in that mindset and you're on the streets and running wild, you kind of like, man, I ain't trying to listen to this old dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, their mind was in the right place. It's just, I'm like kind of looking back, like, I kind of like see it differently, and I kind of want to help my son, but like in a different way though. You know what I'm saying? And just keep it real with him. You know what I'm saying? Like there ain't no life in this. You know what I'm saying? It's either you're gonna end up dead or you're gonna be in prison.
Some that helps me cope with just every aspect of incarceration is that the way I'm looking at it is they want me to be like this. They want me to break down mentally. They want me to go crazy, start talking to myself. They want me to cry like a little girl and stuff like that. But I won't give them I won't give them the satisfaction of breaking me. I might feel depressed sometimes, or I might feel like things get hard on me, but I won't give them the satisfaction of them seeing me break down or them seeing me like go out like a punk or something like that. Like it's like fighting against that stuff, fighting against that stuff. That's what keeps me balanced. Not showing them any sort of emotion or not showing them that these little tactics or this environment is getting to me, because that's what they want and that's what they thrive off of.
That's you growing as a man, right?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question, Marco?
Yeah.
Do you think the crime, the actual act of crime, will make you feel like a little girl?
No, it won't, right?
Okay,
but
wait.
Look.
Okay, but we finna debate this, me and you.
No, I like Barry. He always goes into crying.
Yeah, no, on some real thing. It's an emotion. It's an emotion.
No, true.
It's an emotion that we feel makes us less than men.
Yeah.
To express. So, do they make you angry?
At times.
It's the same emotion, but the reverse.
Yeah, but I won't.
It's all right to be angry.
I don't let them.
Yeah, that is a great point. There are two
Is it
emotions
all right
on
to be
the
angry
end of the same spectrum.
if that's what their whole point is?
I think it's all right to be angry.
Yeah.
So then it gotta be okay to
All right, look right.
Because we're humans, no matter what.
My argument would be, well, then if you can be angry, why not cry? Because it's still.
Yeah.
I think about the mental health aspect of it. Like how does that help you mentally? Like saying, okay, he didn't let me cry. When crying is an emotion, just like anger is. It crying to me, I'm a cry. I didn't cry before.
Are you crying right now?
You know what I'm saying? I cry on the inside every day. I wake up.
I just want to say something real quick. I know I know pretty much everybody is not right here to bash the COs, whatever, because there's a lot of good COs out there. They're just doing their job and making sure everybody's safe and making sure you got what you got coming, and they push on.
I got something to add, right? Like when you give that emotional response, you get angry, you lash out, right? You fight the CO. It's just gonna put you deeper into these holes. You gotta understand that the same system that we're in right now, it gives us tools to fight and combat that stuff. If you calm yourself, you get in control of your emotions, you rationalize your thoughts, right? You think clearly. That's what these programs here do. Exactly. They give us these coping tools, these coping mechanisms. So you calm yourself down, you go, all right, this heel did this. He can't do that. All right, I need a 602, that stuff. every 602 that you push out or anything that you do, it's got the potential to change policies in here that affect the general population. That instead of letting like your emotions educate each other, like, look, this is the if you see someone being mistreated or someone like that, pull them aside, like, look, these are the tools that they give you to fight that. Don't let them do that.
Because most of us right here were like used to lashing out physically and violence, right, exactly. So now we're just teaching ourselves or learning and making it a habit of doing it in a smarter way and in a respectful way.
I think on the thing of anger management, we have to control ourselves and be able to control our anger. And yeah, we didn't know those tools before, but now that these groups are coming to place, now we can help each other, and they teach us anger management. Because I had a problem,
Henry, or is it that we didn't use them?
Yeah, we didn't use them. That was one of the things too. We didn't use them, but we didn't know how to use them at a time, because I didn't know how to use it. And then till it was shown, like, in the issues were brought up, like all these little things, and like at a time, like I kind of would try to control my anger, because I knew once that where it got to that point, like, I'll just lose control, and then you go blank sometimes, and then the outcome is like, man, and then you realize, like, shit, what did I do? You get that self-conscious back. So I think these groups that they're giving us, anger management, is like a key group they give us in all of the little things. I took a few of them. If a lot of us were to be able to control our anger before, and then we would have not been in here. Like, sometimes those are the situations that happen on the streets. Yeah, you know, we all, like they say, we could have been a victim of something, then you grow from there, and now you're the offender. But we still need to work on it, because, you know, some people, they need a little more work than others in how we're maturing. And, you know, sometimes me and him could be the same age, and I'll be more immature than him. And we're thinking, oh, yeah, well, how come you're not acting this way? You're supposed to be this age. But it's still the mentality, and sometimes we haven't been taught those ways. So, yeah, psychologically, yeah, there's certain things, yeah.
Because I'm 40 years old, and sometimes I act like a kid.
Well, that's not bad, though. It's not bad, though.
But we're talking about maturity.
No,
sometimes you're behind.
Yeah, it's all good to clown around. Roy's trying to be.
Where truth meets reality.
You're down.
Pelican Bay Unlocked.
Hi, my name is Alexander Solis. I was born and raised in East Los Angeles, California. I grew up in a two-parent home. I had everything I needed. You know, probably that's why I grew up the way I was. I took everything for granted. You know, got in fights at school, went to juvenile hall, went to group homes. Did my time. While at group home, I ended up having a kid with my girlfriend. I had to get a job, working, and, you know, just hanging around with the wrong people. I chose that instead of my family, and got caught for armed robbery. Gave me 15 years, 10 for the gun, 5 for the robbery, and I've been down 5 years now. I went to Mississippi for my first time going to prison. Well, this is my first term, so the first time in prison, I went all the way to Mississippi, and while over there, I got caught with a knife and went to the hole, got sent to Pelican Bay. Coming to Pelican Bay, I had a thought that it was the toughest prison in the world, in all California. And when I got here, I seen a lot of older people trying to school the youngsters, you know, to do good, to get into programs. And that's what I started doing. And I've been loving it ever since, you know. Everyone's getting along now. You know, there's many more programs that there were before. And I'm just trying to get more knowledge and try to be a better person in life, so when I do get out, I could have many tools in my belt, so I could, you know, try to become someone, not just waste my time inside here, and, you know, just live life out there once I'm out, and try to you know, heal wounds that were ripped, what got to do with my kids or my family, and just, you know, live a great life out there, and try to start a business, or, you know, just get a job and my own place. And yeah, that's my story right there.
Do you have a date?
I do. Right now, my date is January 1st of 2029, so that's 9 more years. But they hopefully some new laws change about the gun enhancements getting dropped, because if they do, then I'm out of here, you know. I'll be out first thing tomorrow if they do. So that'll be nice. But while here, what I want to do is try to get as many programs done as possible. Right now I'm in the Hustle 2.0, and that's an entrepreneur class. So doing that, it will teach me how to start my own business once I'm out. And we had a function with volunteers, and when they came, they said that the people that their first time here, they said that they thought that we're all monsters and stuff, you know. They had a different view, but once that they spent time with us, their whole mindset changed, you know. And they said that they felt safer inside here than they do in the streets, you know what I mean? Because how we showed them a different side of us, and that we really do want to change, that we're people too.
All right, my name is Rivelino Lopez, but everybody calls me Roy, pretty short. I'm 40 years old. This is my second term. I'm doing 28 years to life. I'm going on 14 years already. My first term, I did 9 years for 2 attempted murders. Went to county jail, picked up 2 assaults with a deadly weapon, and that's when I just started doing prison time. Got out, stood out there for 20 months, came back for my third strike, and I got life for 3 bullets with the gang enhancement, which made my case violent. My journey started 2006. I was a knucklehead. I didn't really care about what was going on. I was raising my hand pretty much for anything that had to do with violence. I was in it. I was involved. Later on, I was in the SHU for 8 years. I started learning, started going through a lot of changes, and I started realizing that in order for me to change, I needed to really focus on what my problems were, and that's when it started. And I started getting involved in a lot of groups back there. Once they started giving us program, I got out the SHU, and I just kept doing a lot of self-help programs. I got my GED. I just graduated yesterday, which was a big accomplishment for myself. My family was happy for me, and it just motivated me more to keep pushing forward, and that's what I'm doing right now. And I'm looking at life in a different perspective, with a better attitude. My behavior changed. I'm not rude or disrespectful towards CEOs, even though sometimes they deserve it, but I just back away, you know, let them shine, whatever, and just keep pushing, because one thing I want is I want to go home, and for me to go home, I need to better myself.
What do you expect to get out of this, out of the podcast?
I want people to understand that not everybody in prison we're bad people. We're not animals. There's smart, intelligent people up in here. Good people. We got dudes here with dads, brothers, sons, and most of us just go through a big struggle and people out there, they're not realizing the struggles that we're going through. Yeah, we committed we did what we did pretty much to get here, and we made that choice. But most of us already understood that choice was wrong, and we're trying to better ourselves to move forward. So I want the people out there just to give us a better understanding.
We're nearing the end of this episode, so it's time for that challenge I mentioned way back at the beginning. You remember? It's called the Cell Challenge, and here's how it came about.
But I think, like, and then how they were saying about being locked down in the SHU, and all of us been in the holes and the shoes and all that, and how it could, and me, for like the society, I mean, well, for the outside community right now, if they could take their time, not even for like, I would say like a good 72 hours, but I'm sure people, they're living their lives, but to go lock yourself in a bathroom for that much, because that's what our cell is, a bathroom pretty much. We have a toilet,
not
a
no
sink,
sweet
a
bathroom.
bed. Yeah, not
no. Talk about one of them.
Yeah,
one of them half bathrooms.
And you figure, okay, your shower, you put your shower where the bathtub is. That's your bed. So okay, and then you have the toilet and the sink. That's our cell. So if you were to go lock yourself in, even a good day, just like that, and getting fed in your cell, like for the outside community to do that, like if they would have time, like, and they would realize like what we would go through for years and years and hours and weeks and months, that'll really,
with the psychological.
Yeah, all those things, then they'll kind of get a better understanding of like the things we go through.
That's an interesting thing to bring up. That would be an interesting challenge if I could get somebody on the outside, go live in your bathroom for 3 days.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even a day, 24 hours.
Yeah, 24 hours even. Get fed. No phone, nothing.
No phone, no nothing, yeah.
If we could get somebody to accept that challenge and to give us their feedback and their thoughts about it, you know what I mean? And that's the typical life of what we live every day for years. I've been living it. Paul, we challenge you, Paul.
All right. I'll accept that challenge. I'll do it. I'll live in my bathroom for what, 24 hours, right? Okay, so what's that look like? Take me through a day.
Well, Hafiz, why don't you go ahead and explain that to him, how our daily lives are in the cell?
Well, our typical day would normally start around 6 o'clock. So around 6 o'clock is our wake up, between 6 and 6:30.
I already have a problem.
What?
So this is how it breaks down. 6 a.m., wake up. 6:45, breakfast and lunch are delivered. 12:30, afternoon yard. 2:30, yard recall. 2:45 to 3:45, I get to go to the day room. And at 4 p.m., the porters bring dinner back to the cell, and that's it for the day. I'll come up with the whole backstory, right? Like, what am I in for?
Credit card fraud.
Credit card fraud, yeah. Yeah,
so
insider trading.
Give me tips. Give me tips how I get through this, man.
You got to stay busy. Not too busy to where you, like, don't have no time where you have time to reflect or for yourself to where you just have a little room. Because sometimes you can be a busybody. You just have too much stuff and you ain't get nothing done. You know what I'm saying? But you would want to have at least 2 or 3 things you want to do throughout the day that's productive.
And not only that, because we're allowed to have typewriters, in this regard, you can use your computer or your laptop to type.
For the sake of this challenge, we agreed to assume I have no programs to attend and that everything on the yard is running smoothly, meaning no fights or yards down.
And, no contact with your spouse during this time as well.
We're almost getting it. So that'll be the challenge for you, Paul.
That's the basic challenge.
I accept.
And we would like the listeners to follow along somehow. If there's a way you can record this and put this on the line and let them know so they could experience it with you. And that's our daily life on the yard. That's not including the shoe and the ad save.
No cell phone, no internet, 3 hours outside the cell, and the rest of the time, I don't know, bring a book or two, I guess. Maybe if I'm really nice to my wife through the door, a PG-13 movie. I'm not sure what this will be like, or if I'll even really get a glimpse into the lives of these guys, being surrounded as I'll be by the familiar, knowing I can resume my life in the morning, but I'll try it. I'll do some media too, a video or something, to chronicle the day and share it online. If you choose to undertake the Cell Challenge, we'd love to hear from you about that experience.
This is just a basic life of us, of the 180 design, Pelican Bay design lifestyle.
Pelican Bay Unlocked is a production of the inmates of Pelican Bay State Prison in conjunction with the Arts and Corrections program administered by the William James Association. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you won't miss the next episode. And if you choose to take part in the Cell Challenge, we'd love to know how it went. Leave a comment on the website or email us. And all thanks humanly possible to Benjamin Bangers out of Baltimore for letting us use his tracks. He's linked on the website. Friend him, like him, follow him on your social of choice. He's everywhere, and he deserves the love. Thanks, Ben. For Pelican Bay Unlocked, I'm Paul Kritz.